I remember when they said they was entering into it, and I just chuckled to myself, like, how could Battel Bonfire be entering in to the British Fireworks Championship? I almost felt like Bonfire was struggling. And since the virus...
Member of the Year. Battle Member of the Year.
Who I'd give it
in
to.
your eyes, yeah. The controversial one, Abbey, Green or Battlefield.
Yeah.
You can't have it.
The first Bonfire podcast.
Yeah, welcome to Guy Talks. This is the first Bonfire podcast, Battel Bonfire Boyes pioneering the scene, and also the first podcast ever made. So, you know, we're making history, for Bonfire. So, you know,
it could go well.
We're gonna touch on a few things about Bonfire and Battel Bonfire specifically, because that's all we have any sort of experience on.
Yeah, I think if we had guests from away Bonfire.
Yeah, the trouble is there's too much competition, isn't there? They'll try and make out that
way
theirs
too
is
much
better.
Competition.
Which is something that's good, and that's what like pushes people to make their society. But everyone, you know, people believe they've got the best society, and although they're wrong, they do try and make their evenings better. Which is,
I've actually thought that before. You know, I've heard someone from Rye Bonfire once said, obviously everybody says their own night's the best.
Yeah.
And I've sat there and I thought, yeah, but surely if you're going to, no disrespect intended, but if you're going, I'm going to say it because I have to. But if you're going to Ninfield Bonfire, which is, it's wonderful in itself. It's a great family event.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But if you're going to it, are you as a Ninfield member, are you saying that was the best night of the season?
I don't think that they are. No, possibly not, because they are exactly like you say. They are a family night. They are governed by the size of their fire. It can only be so extreme.
You know, I do it every year in amongst ourselves. That I've said before. Do you know which one's leading the way? Which night have you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, ranking order. Yeah.
And it's not always that Battle is the top.
No, I would say, well, last year it definitely was.
It was the top by
phenomenal, yeah. It was like absolutely blew the rest of them out of the water. And that's no disrespect to the other nights, but by comparison, they were awful. Like they, I don't mean that, obviously, I'm saying that to be.
But they have become a lot different.
Yeah, they've got a lot tamer, which is something else we can touch on throughout the series, how Bonfire's changed since even I've been a member, which is just a lowly 10 years.
Ed, if I may.
Yeah.
10 years.
It's his first question. Have I already answered it?
It's the first question that I got for you.
Right.
Was that what made you join? I think I know the answer.
I think you probably do know the answer, yeah. Alice Woodham.
Through love, then?
Through love, yeah. It was a love, not just of Guy Fawkes being a traitor. It was, and King and Country, which is, of course, why we all do Bonfire. It was, love for Alice Woodham. I was working in a pub, and I didn't have Saturday nights off for a very long time. And then I left the pub, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do on Saturday nights in October? And no, I knew I wanted to join because she was always going, and I was like, I'll get Saturday off. And then I used to go, First one was Northern Bonfire.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Is that why you started
Northium?
Is that why you start at Northium every year?
I don't know. No, I think it's just that was the first one for them as well. So, because everybody has their own little clique in Bonfire. Obviously, so I was going out. Well, I am going out with Alice. So her clique in Bonfire was who I started.
I think a lot of groups start, or a lot of members, you get a lot of cliques in Bonfire.
Yeah,
I would imagine in every society, not least in.
I hope so, because people always moan about it in Battle, don't they? And
they do.
I don't think it's fair to really moan about cliques. I think all you have to do, like I've done, is infiltrate the cliques if you want to.
Which brings me on to the next question.
I'm getting away.
And I'm only, again, no disrespect intended.
I'll take it as.
Obviously, you wasn't born in Battle.
No.
So
I am a foreigner.
Moving to Battle or Watlington, of Watlington. Did you find it when you first joined Battle? How did you feel?
I was intimidated, and that might surprise you.
Can you remember going to the first meeting when you joined?
Yeah.
And you felt intimidated?
Hannah was chair lady.
Yeah.
And I think Brian Buss was vice.
Yeah.
and I sat quite near the front like a loser. No offence to anybody that sits at the front, but the cool kids at the back.
Move back in the meeting room.
That's how you assess the coolness, which is why I always try and sit by the fire escape, so I can guarantee my coolness.
So did you find it hard joining?
No, not really. I didn't find it hard joining, but what I did find it hard was integrating within the different groups of people, because I am quite a confrontational personality, I guess. Really, my toning it down a bit now because I'm being recorded, but you know what, my jokes and I can be a little bit.
I do remember seeing you at some meetings, and I remember thinking, who is that? Keeps talking.
He looks
keeps
foreign.
Shouting out in these meetings. This isn't how battle meetings go.
I don't know if I was
Usually
doing it
what happens
then.
is the chairman asks a question.
And no one says anything.
No one says anything. Everyone just keeps their hand down. And then they'll look at certain people and you just think, yeah, I know I'm going to be doing that job, but I'll just keep my hand down for now and speak to them
Was
after.
I shouting out that? Because I know I do it now, but only really like with little quips and stuff.
I don't mind it now, though. I think 10
you
years
did
ago,
mind it before.
10 years ago, I was only a wee lad. So now I'm sort of thinking, no, I like the shouting out. I think that's what's needed.
I think we need more of that.
100%. 100%. I think that's a good thing about bonfires. That's not just synonymous with bonfires, but in societies, you get a collective group of people. Some that are introverts, some that are extrovert, and I think they all come together.
Some that are just really weird.
Some that are just whatever they
out
are.
There, yeah.
And that's what makes it work.
But it's also what makes it doesn't like not work as well. And it like there are times when it's like tricky negotiating that, and that's why it's good. You know, when you've got a strong leader in charge. Shout out to Matt Southam.
Talking upon members, I remember coming to meetings even if you said 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago. And you'd come to some meetings and there wouldn't actually be enough people in there that you could vote on anything. It was very sort of, you sort of thought, we're struggling here to get people at meetings. And remember in the 10K to get marshals, I know it's always a problem, but even I look at a lot of the events now and think they're actually much better supported now than what they used to be in Battle. Yeah. And specifically the meetings. I know I've not been to many this year, but...
It has been nice.
The ones I have been to, one in particular, I thought would have been midsummer, and there was over 40 members. And I'm thinking, what?
That was weird. That was uncanny. I remember turning up thinking, why is there so many? It was like the week before bonfire meeting, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like, why can we not?
Chairs?
Yeah.
You sort of answered it in your answer to why you joined.
Right.
Kind of. It brings me on to the bonfire. Growing up, for me as a kid, I actually never knew Guy Fawkes was bad. I know that's people, what is it? I didn't. I thought we celebrated the fact that he tried to do it. Yeah. And I'm not sure whether this is too controversial or not, but I did. And then I was growing up and I sort of thought, no, we burn him. Like, we get, like, he was bad.
Yeah.
So when you joined Battle Bonfire, was it what you thought it would be?
Well, I kind of already knew what to expect in terms of like the running order of things, because I've grown up in Barkham. It does have its own bonfire. I was never part of it, but
you went to Barkham.
I used to go to Barkham. I used to go to Lewis Bonfire as a kid.
So you'd experienced bonfires before,
and I thought these are tame and I know people. There are controversies and stuff, but Lewis Bonfire is phenomenal as a spectator, as a kid. When you get into these little situations, like I've been in, hanging out of people's bay windows, like watching the procession go past with the torches, like, that far away from your head. I was at top of Clifford Dan building, like on the high street, 'cause my mate's dad was an estate agent there, watching the whole thing going up down there. And you're a kid, so you can get through the crowd, be like, I've lost my mum, get out of the way, and like push your way all the way to the front. Running across the procession, being naughty, it's complete carnage. And then when everybody goes off to the fireside and you're still milling about in Lewis, like with no one around and fire, and like it's like the apocalypse.
It's interesting now because I obviously used to go to it as a kid, and it's interesting now going as part of Battle as an away society, a visiting society. Yeah. But I have got a lot from Lewis over the years that it really is their event. And I know lots of societies moving towards that, but you still would say you'd go to such as any of the Senlac bonfires, and you do feel a bit more involved as a visiting society.
I think it's a bit more like
it's their event.
It's the FA Cup final
it's
or
what
whatever.
They do.
It's like, it's the pinnacle of the season, if you like. Anything leading up to it is just leading up to it, and anything after is just like an epilogue. Like that's the thing with Lewis. It is the biggest and it is the best in terms of numbers, fires, fireworks.
Yeah, it is.
Quality of like effigies and all sorts of stuff. It is the pinnacle,
A lot of our members this year, you're going to go. And it's sort of like, I go every year when we don't clash. And when I'm there, I'm sort of thinking, could I have just stayed in tonight? But then I have had nights where I've not gone and thought I should be in Lewis.
Yeah.
This is you have to experience it. And when you don't go, you sort of feel like I've missed out on it. But when you do go, you sort of think, this isn't quite like the bonfires I'm used to.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get from
it's
it.
A lot more,
it's unique and wonderful.
It's like being in front of
way.
the Queen, isn't it? Like, you have to be regimented. You can't do this. You can't do that. Whereas even, I know, like on Battle, like it's like, rows of three, you've got to be, and you want it to look good. And I understand that's why they want to do it. They want it to look good. But when you're going to Staple Cross and you're 5th, 6th down the order or whatever, doesn't matter where you walk, how you walk, you're just walking along with Tawkes, chatting to your mates, having a laugh. You don't even really look at the general public. When you're at Lewis, you do really very much feel like you're part of a performance. You're part of a show. You're there as like an actor with in a costume with a flaming torch, part of their night. And and your hips hurt and your knees hurt and you want to sit down and you want to get a drink.
It's a long night. It's
too long for me.
I've never completed the whole actual night. So I've always walked back from the bonfire. And I've always gone home, like, because I usually drive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to experience going on the bus one day, just to say, oh yeah, I've done it. But
I think Alice said about this when I was talking about doing this with you, and we've spoken about questions and stuff, and she brought it up that the coaches are so much different to how they used to be.
Hugely different.
Even from when I first started, when there used to be coaches going to different bonfires, and now it's only Rye we get a coach to. The stories that I've heard are nothing like what they are. They're really tame. The worst thing is somebody throws up.
I think when I was going on the coaches, I even think I was late to sort of the coach scene.
Yeah.
So I've heard some of them stories, but of course I also remember being on there and some of the songs.
Yeah. So we don't really get any songs now. They don't get nothing.
There's a song about I don't even know the words, but you used to sit there and think, this is bonfire. Like I used to love the coaches. I used to absolutely. I just thought the whole thing. I remember a lot of them used to meet in the King's Head, and you'd be in there, and all the coaches coming, and you'd know you've got the coach, at say 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and you think you've got so much time, and you get in the pub and you think, but just for a laugh, let's just, they won't leave without us.
Let's just make them wait.
I mean, they'll just make them wait.
Yeah.
We're coming. Then all of a sudden
they will leave without you now.
They will actually leave without you,
Yeah, that's something that has changed a lot in the drinking culture. I mean, obviously, in the country, the drinking culture has changed. We've seen that with, like, kids don't really drink that much anymore.
Yeah.
They're always on ketamine or something like that instead, which I've tried at Bonfire. It doesn't work. I haven't really. But yeah, so that has changed, isn't it? Like, the drinking culture has gone, like, to a point.
In terms of, well, you say that, I don't know.
Well, you still got the hardcores. I can think of a few that still get...
I, as I said before, my dad used to say to me, why does bonfire and drink go so hand in hand?
Yeah.
Like, you see so many drunk people. But I think because bonfire is such a social occasion.
And we as a culture don't have anything else that we do as a
literally
occasion
this time of
other
year,
than drink.
Today, September the 18th, I'm sitting here now and I'm thinking, and this is just Northian Bonfire, and I'm thinking it's not a massive town. Lots of people go, it's Northian Bonfire.
Yeah, it's not
I'm
even a
sitting
town,
here now
is
and
it?
I'm thinking, I cannot wait for Northian Bonfire.
Yeah.
To the point that, me and Louise have sort of said, oh, shall we go to one before Northian? And it's like, nah, because it gives you a better build-up to go to North. But
yeah.
And if you said to me, why can you not wait until Northian Bonfire? Well, one, just to see, like when you go to a bonfire and you see people that you only ever see at a bonfire.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you sit there and you see him, and then it's just that sort of look that you look at each other enough to say, yeah, I know you.
Yeah.
You know me. We're not gonna smile, we're not gonna nod.
Yeah, we're not gonna acknowledge each other whatsoever.
That for the next 6 to 7 weeks, we're gonna see each other.
We're gonna keep looking at each other
every weekend
and not talk to each
without
other
doing a single thing other than just that look.
Yeah.
Enough to say, yeah, we're here again. Here we are again. And then all the time, you get there and like Chris or Luke will say to me, what are we doing? And I just look at them and I think, I have no idea, but there's something enjoyable about standing in this field, in the mud, in the rain, nattering about nothing, to the point that, you're walking in the procession, and I often think to myself, why do people come? Why do these people come to see these processions? Because, a bit of criticism towards Battle, they're not the greatest society at being able to put on a procession, meaning how they walk. We're just in clumps. There's massive gaps between people.
What are you talking about, Battle specifically?
Battle specifically, because, Hastings come past and they're like military ranks, and you're sort of thinking, but I look at them and I think that doesn't look fun. To me, I think, no, give me this clump of people, but I know really you are supposed to be putting on a spectacle. Yeah,
I think that is a lot of the reason why I do it. I am a bit like Alice will always say, if there's a camera, I'm in front of it. Like I do, that's why I've got a costume for every night. I try and mix it up.
I think that's nice.
I do like the attention a little bit, but not in like a look at me way, because also I don't like it, but in some respects. And when it's outside of the procession, like when I dressed up as a priest for Rye, I was like, very well, I don't mind walking as a Catholic priest in the procession. But as soon as that procession was finished, I took it off and I was wearing my convicts underneath and I stuffed it in my bag because I don't want to walk around around a pub dressed as a Catholic priest. Why not? Because of the attention it gives you. When you said, why do we do it? That is a good segue onto Bonfire specifically. Why do we do it, Andy?
I actually think a lot of people in the modern era, I think they just do it for the social gathering.
Yeah.
I don't actually think, obviously there is a few that will say, no, we do it for the reason we want to burn Guy Fawkes. This is for almost like a protest against the government, against everything. But
it's pro-government.
But if you was to ask me why I do it, I don't actually give, and I'll be completely honest, I don't ever give any thought of Guy Fawkes. I don't give any thought of the government. I don't give any thought of it. I just think I do it because that's what we do.
It's a social, if you're from the Southeast,
that is what we do.
But then I meet a lot of people and I say to them, you should join the Bonfire Boys. And they're like, no. I'm like, it's well good fun. Like, why don't you want to? Like, it's better than watching. I would never go to a bonfire night.
To watch, I know.
I think it's the lamest, and like, no disrespect to people that go to bonfires, but I think it's, if you're watching, just get involved. It's way more fun standing still for an hour, 2 hours, watching some fireworks. I mean, you're probably the same. I don't even really watch the fireworks.
I won't lie, and I know you think I'm attacking them, which I'm not. But when we chose to watch Ninfield last year, which I will have...
Oh, yeah, you did. You have been a spectator recently,
it's considerably worse than walking in Ninfield. When you come walking up Manchester Road and I'm standing there and I'm thinking, why am I this side of this gate? Why have I not got my children in their uniform supporting Ninfield Bonfire by being an away member walking in it? Why am I sitting here being an idiot going, no, I can't be bothered to do that?
Yeah. Why? Why? What answer do you have?
That is a great question.
You don't have one, do you?
I don't have one.
You're just being belligerent. You're just attacking Ninfield for no reason.
I just sat there and I just think I made a stance that thought, I've said this before, I gauge a lot of bonfires and at the same time I sort of think I shouldn't be gauging them, but I gauge them by how much effort they put into their actual night. Again, controversial, I know, because I'm well aware of how much effort goes into every bonfire that's put on. But when you walk on a field,
others, I would imagine,
when you walk on a field and you've got a bonfire that's no bigger than me, and you sort of think, why have I just marched up and down here and I've put the costume on, I've done all of this and I've arrived here
for that.
For that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should get a member of Ninfield on to explain the reasons.
Yeah, but I think I know the answer.
Well,
and,
yeah, but we
and
can't
in
assume.
a sense, it does make it unique.
That's what I do love about visiting.
But when you sit there and you think, yeah, but you know what's unique about Ninfield? That they have a tiny little bonfire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that sounds laughable.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's almost like you're saying what's unique about it. That
if you said to me now,
it isn't fair, really.
If you said to me now, would you wipe Ninfield off of the calendar? No, I wouldn't. I think they have to stay.
It's a great starter.
My dad, God rest his soul, he said to me once, I didn't want to go to Stable Cross because before we actually joined Battle, we always walked in the bonfires, and but we could have even been members at this point. But we only ever used to my brother, dad, and Colin would only ever start at Stable Cross Bonfire. That would be our first our starter. I never knew about Hastings Bonfire. I never, and being from Battle, I never knew. But my dad and mum would shield me and Luke a little bit from bonfires. It was, they didn't want us going to all these ones. And I remember I was playing on my PlayStation one night, and it was Stable Cross Bonfire, and Dad come in and he went, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm staying here, Dad." And he went, "Why are you?" "No, you're not." And I said to him, what are you on about? And he went, "If you do not support the smaller bonfires, you won't have the bigger bonfires to go to." And he was really quite strict with me, to the point that I thought, yeah, I've got no choice here but to put my PlayStation controller down, go and walk to Crypt Corner, where there's nobody, and come back.
My biggest gripe with Stable Cross is that it is a marathon.
I'm criticising them, but at the same time, I'm telling you now that carry on, please carry on, because it gives me it
gives you something to do on a Saturday night.
Gives me something to do on a Saturday. Ed,
well, mine are these are quickfire questions that we can ask every guest that we have on quickly.
Which is, of course, what we are aiming to do.
Welcome to the Guy Talks podcast, where two guys talk about bonfire. We're gonna interview people, mostly from Battle, because they're the only people that will talk to us. But we're going to try and maybe get some other people on.
Maybe.
Interview people about Bonfire Night specifically, about Battle Bonfire, about the build up to Bonfire. And it is very much bonfire season, like you said earlier, September. The weather's awful.
I think there's been two bonfires already.
Yeah, there has been. Yeah, and Battle has had
and Uckfield, I believe.
Battle has had a showing at both.
Or Uckfield and Crowborough. I don't know which way around it is.
I think Uckfield was
the first. I must admit, that's on Ben and Rachel, really, isn't it?
They are the driving force.
And Michael and Jodie and their family have been going. But I think all of them, I dip my hat to all of them. I actually thank them when I see them at the meeting. Because I think it's brilliant
in the stead of the rest of
I do, yeah. And if they said to me, well, you're shameful for not going, I'd say, yeah, I completely agree.
Oh, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't say it's shameful. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of.
I think as shameful as not going to Ninfield.
They are enthusiastic. And, you do need that enthusiasm. And I think, again, early ones are good ones for kids. Great. I think more kids should be going to those ones, and more people's grandparents should be looking after people's kids for the better ones.
Louise isn't going to be well enough to go to Mayfield, because I sat there and I thought, we could take the kids. We seriously could take the kids. I'm doing nothing Saturday night, just waiting for Norvium for no apparent reason.
You got to start somewhere.
You have, yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to draw a line in the sand.
You have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to be discussing Bonfire. We're going to be going on a lot of segues, because it just seems to be what we were, because we were just recording an intro, and I think we've done about 20 minutes. Yeah, so we're discussing Bonfire, the tradition of Bonfire, the continuation of Bonfire. Where is its future headed? We don't know. We can only speculate, obviously.
I think it. I don't know. I said it before, but I think the future of Bonfire is a lot better now than what it used to be. Maybe I'm only speaking for Battle in that, but from my point of view, my own point of view, I sit there and I think it won't be stopped.
No, well, it's got a history of not being stopped.
Juggernaut. What?
Right, quickfire number one.
Quickfire. So these are the quickfire questions.
Yeah.
Which every guest is going.
Every guest is going to have. Favourite away bonfire.
Robertsbridge.
Easy, good one, right? Yeah. Favourite costume can be one of yours, but you've only got two, or it could be anyone else's.
Favourite costume.
Yeah.
Vikings from Cliff.
Cliff's Vikings.
Yeah, I do. I like them. I just think they're brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, good. Bonfire or fireworks?
Bonfire.
What's your pre-bonfire routine?
What is this? Is Quickfire?
Well, you can take as long as you like. The questions are going to be spoken quickly.
Well, it does change from year to year, but I think we've settled down now to the actual routine of we will start drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think it would be anything else.
In an hour in the Redneck Inn at home at about 1, 2 o'clock.
Early.
Yeah.
Right.
Last year's routine was alcohol, KFC, bonfire.
How do you get the KFC?
Before we had the alcohol, obviously.
Right. Okay. Just glad I cleared that up.
No, because Chris lived over that way in Pebsham.
Right.
KFC was just a little bit further on. I'd pick him up, get the KFC, come back, put on a lot of weight, and sit there. But the trouble is, when we used to sit there, I used to think, do we really want to be? Are we really bothered to go to the bonfire now? Like,
yeah,
you're
settled
sitting there
in,
and you're thinking, this is lovely sitting here, but we've turned up, and you turn up to the bonfire and you sort of think the night's already over, or the day's already over. But yeah, pre-bonfire routine, I think, just get in the mood. I don't think.
Yeah.
I know some people obviously are probably working and then they get home, they do whatever. Well, you never know.
Some people do, I suppose.
And I don't think that works. I think you need to settle into it because there's a lot of walking.
There is a lot of walking. You need to rest.
When you're going to Crick's Corner, which feels halfway to Scotland,
you may as well walk to Staple Cross from Battle.
You may as well. Yeah, that's a very good point. Do you think Staple Cross is the longest walk? That'd be a great question. I'd love to know which one's the longest.
Well, we can record it. I can do the old.
Well, just come up to me halfway through one of the nights.
I've done 14,000 steps.
This is longer than Battles.
Yeah. Well, we can have stats because when this podcast takes off and it carries on, people will want to know all about the off season.
Yeah.
I like to refer to it in football terms, even though I'm not a football fan. So, whereas I think of Battle
long off season.
Battle is like Man United. They're still good, aren't they?
Do you? Let's not get onto that subject.
A little dig, sorry. Favourite effigy?
Again.
Can be one of yours, or can be one of ours, or can be.
My mind is Battle did one quite a while ago, and I'm pretty sure it was Uncle Sam sitting on a missile.
Right, yeah.
I think I could be wrong.
But you can see it in your mind's eye.
I can see it in my mind. I mean, I'm disregarding anything that Lewis put out because I just leave them to one side.
Yeah, it's like saying, favourite football tournament, World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is mine.
But no, I think, I really like, actually, it would still be my favourite one. I really liked it. I thought it was brilliant. I actually liked last year's one with the traffic light. I thought it was interactive. I know it was a bit boring.
Interactivity is the key.
It was local to us.
Yeah. I think that is well, we can talk about the FG because obviously we don't know what the FG is going to be.
We don't know what the FG is.
We do know that it hasn't been started yet. But we'll get onto that as the show progresses. Favourite banner?
The Convict banner.
Convict banner, yeah, I agree.
Love the Convict banner.
Really good. Mark Oldroyd, shout out Mark Oldroyd. Yeah, really good.
Phenomenal Convict banner, yeah, that.
And immediately synonymous. I know it's obviously synonymous with Battle Bonfire because it has, but does it even say Battle Bonfire on it?
I think it does, yeah, Battle Bonfire.
But it wouldn't need to. It wouldn't need to, though, would it? That's the thing, because Guy Fawkes in the Convict.
It's just brilliant.
And it's lasted so well.
I just think it's brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah, just a great banner.
And it's set apart because it's different to all the other ones, even our own, but everyone else's.
When I was a kid, carrying the banner, I used to think was like, whoa. Well, how do you ever get to carry one of them?
When we were discussing favourite bonfire moment, mine is really lame, and it is the first time carrying the banner for Battle because I actually felt like, even like as a fairly youngish member in terms of years and experience and enthusiasm, I was very enthusiastic. That moment for me was pretty, and I was like, "Wait, I'm going to be in all the pictures." Which is why I secured the photographer for the last couple of years. Got a good relationship with him, and I'm like, just keep it on me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Favourite fundraiser to be a part of? Stillball.
I do like the 10K.
Yeah, well, you do
it well.
That's a difficult
question for me because I've not done the big weekend for about 7 or 8 years.
No, you haven't, have you?
My fundraising has been appalling, but I do like the 10K. I think it brings the whole town together. it certainly enlightens the public that are in cars. You know, it
enrages the public in cars. Yeah.
It sort of makes them. It brings the best out of people, I think.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You do get to see the good side of the British public.
You're standing there and you think, well, it's only really closed for like 5-10 minutes and you're just getting absolute abuse. You're sort of thinking, yeah. I always think as well, the 10K, when you get to the 10K, after that, it's almost as if everything that happens is bonfire. Everything that gets spoken about.
It's the last fundraiser,
people
isn't
are
it?
coming up to the nursery. Everyone's, how's the bonfire getting on? I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm not really that involved. I don't really know anything. I only know from what you guys say.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of thinking, yeah, it's all right. It's all under control. It's in hand.
It's in hand, yeah.
But yeah, the 10K, I think the 10K is brilliant. I really do. A great sort of town event.
But the big weekend bonanza, whatever it is as well. And it's been scaled down.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? And I think it needs to scale up.
Completely agree.
Mate, I mean, I'm not saying weekend again.
I am.
Well, you can. You're well within your rights to say so.
I just miss it. I
miss the evening event. I think it needs an evening aspect.
A lot of the members, it was difficult. But at the same time, I found it a really good way of... Because as a society with members, we never get together.
No.
Other than bonfire season. You know, I know not all the members went to the big weekend.
No, there's a few. Well,
but at the same time, if you had a music event afterwards,
more of them would show.
I think so, and it'd be like, oh yeah, I know you. You're one of them.
Well, I've spoken to 3 or 4, 5 or 6 people that have said they'll do the bar, which is one thing we struggle with.
I'd see someone there and go, yeah, you're that person that I see at Northam every year, and we just look at each other and think, yeah, you're a bonfire boy.
And then you could actually then approach them and start a conversation.
That's never going to happen.
Okay, right, move on from that then. What role in the society would you like to try?
That's pressure.
It's not pressure. I'm not saying you have to stand for vice chair, because we know how it would end.
Yeah, I think it'd be vice chair. I think as vice chair, you're there and about in amongst it. But not enough to put your head above the trenches.
You're not going to get hit with a stray.
You know, your helmet might sometimes go above the trench.
I like the war analogy. The war analogy is probably better than the football analogy. It makes us sound...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm no disrespect to the vice chairman position, but I just think you could sit there and go, yeah, I'm vice chairman. Means absolutely nothing.
My only gripe, and this will be controversial, vice chair, why did they get a seat at top table? Because your role, really, is to chair a meeting when the chair isn't there.
Fair point.
If the chair is there, you don't need to be in the chair. Because poor Chris Nolan, Health and Safety, hopefully will be a guest on this show coming soon. He doesn't get a table.
I know, he does. He really
and he has a
need
laptop.
A table.
He's the only one that brings a laptop with him. I mean, I don't know what he's looking at, but even still, like he brings a laptop to the he brings he brings a lot to the meetings.
But then again,
there should be a petition.
If he did walk up there and there was a table ready for him, all jokes would end.
Yeah, no, they would. But I think
maybe we should keep it without.
It's a respect thing. That's why. And I want Kaylin at the back with us. Right. What do you think is the biggest misconception about bonfire members? Might have to cut this bit.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah.
How do you mean misconception about bonfire members? What? Oh, I see. From the general public.
From the general public. Yeah.
I actually don't know, and that's a quickfire question.
Well, just because I think the obvious answer is that we're either all pyromaniacs, all have mental problems, or
sometimes
are just fanatical weirdos.
Well, sometimes I've sort of thought
some of us are all 3 of those.
Because me specifically, and it sounds ridiculous, because I've walked in bonfires for as long as I can remember, I don't really, and this is, again, a strange thing to say, I don't really respect fire like I should do.
No, I don't. But I never have.
There's
I never
fire
have,
on the ground, and I'm walking along, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not wearing really any specific clothes here that aren't going to go up in flames.
Obviously, you're wearing fire retardant clothing because you're part of bonfire. Yeah. That would be.
But but you tread on flames, and you almost think you're not going to get burnt.
Well, you're not.
You know, and you're walking along, and you see crowds sort of moving back.
Yeah. Well, people have a healthy respect for fire.
Surely they don't think, oh, they're just nutters walking along. Fire doesn't affect them.
Yeah, this is the thing. I think that you do get, certainly from the younger generation, you think people do think you're really cool.
Probably the most common misconception is that they all think that we're just sort of amazed by fire and amazed by and really that's not true at all. I actually don't like fireworks.
I don't like handling them.
I love explosions. I think it makes the bonfire. I hate the fact that we now have to go to bonfires where they're not allowed any. I think it ruins it.
I think it ruins it, and I think you could still achieve it by having, even if you just had a cordoned off area where you like what we do.
Just have barrels.
But we have crackers in the street. We do other stuff as well. But
you go on Hastings Beach, and I know they've had their trouble, but you go on Hastings. Why can't they have barrels?
Why can't they have barrels? Yeah.
I know. You could say, yeah, but people are not going to always chuck them in barrels. No, but the majority do.
And if the intent is there, you've done everything you can.
Yeah. I just think it would make it. I just think it would make it 10 times better. Just have barrels. Just have something. Just a massive metal drum.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that at Robertsbridge or at somewhere where they've had like an old metal diesel tank of some sort or water tank, and just people just chucking them in there. It just adds to the ambience.
It does add to the atmosphere.
Some bonfire boy. I mean,
I'd rather they have barrels than just the carnage.
I actually don't take
all over
any
the place.
Rookies with me, believe it or not.
Well, no, I don't. I do.
Someone said to me once, if you don't have any on you, you can't do anything silly when you've had too much to drink, which can happen, and B, if something goes wrong and someone causes an issue, you can just say, well, it's obviously not me because I don't have them with me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at Battle, I do stretch that rule a little bit because it's our own one.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, isn't it? Bonfire's like that drug. It's like that.
I wouldn't know about that.
Every week you're getting that fix.
Yeah.
To pull you in again for next year, just to see what they're going to do next year.
Well, there's an off
Will
week
Nimfield
this week.
have a bigger bonfire this year? No.
No, well, they don't think they're allowed one.
You never know. They could go higher than 1 metre.
That wasn't a quickfire question. I've put a mark by it. How has the society changed since you've joined? We might have already covered that.
Since I've joined?
Yeah.
Again, a thing that I want to touch on. So I don't. Maybe people think it or people don't think it, but although me and Luke, I always think we were very lucky to have had our father and Colin. Sort of, my dad was known by a lot of people in Bale, and he would say that he would go torch making sort of back in the 90s or something. But I'm not 100% sure, and Mum doesn't know, whether he was a member back then or whether he was just accepted, it's Mick Turner, yeah, he's a bonfire boy, he helps out. So me and Luke were very lucky that we were sort of exposed to it young, so that people knew who he was. But I remember, and it's a great story for Matt, at Rye Bonfire one year, and I think I was a teenager, and we wouldn't have been members because we did not join until 2005.
Right.
So when people go, oh, you've been a member all your life, no, I may have been on the scene in terms of walking in it, but not helping in it. I think I've said to you before with Alice's brother, I'd sat in the tractor with him. Well, that good thing for a fond memory, that was when he turned up on that and in the tractor, and we're chucking the faggots off the trailer, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm part of Battel Bonfire here. I was only a young lad, and I'm thinking, yeah, look at me. And I've gone home and said to Luke, you'll never guess what I've just done. I've just helped build the bonfire. I just sat in the tractor whilst they done it.
Yeah, but in your world.
Yeah, but with Matt at Rye, so we've been standing there, and there was this thing, or this rule that had come along, that you'd got to be a member to join. And now I think back of it, and I think, why on earth did we never join? Why on earth? And I remember Mum saying, why don't you just join? And it was like, yeah, fair enough. But Matt and I believe Caitlin had come over to us and had gone, are you members? And I'd think we'd just gone no or whatever, and they'd just walked off or something like that. And it was a bit like, oh, who's he sort of thing and all this. And now I sit there and I think, yeah, they were 100% in the right.
Of course they were. Yeah.
But at the same time, now we sort of joined, and the rest was sort of history. But we was lucky anyway to
have that in.
Yeah. Have that. We sort of got in and made life 10 times easier.
Yeah, well, it's like you were saying, it's easier as a well-known battle figure anyway to join Battel Bonfire.
I've forgotten what the actual initial question was.
How's it changed since you joined?
I just think when it went from about 2005 to, I would have said, almost up to the COVID, up to the virus.
Right, yeah,
and I almost
felt
21,
like 22.
I almost felt like Bonfire was struggling, and since the virus, I know a lot of bonfires have changed for certain things and certain rules, but every year I feel like it's expanded. I feel like there's more bonfires to go to. I've said earlier on that I think we've got loads more members in Battel.
Yeah,
and I would say how it's changed is it's grown. It's just grown. I truly believe it. I know, like the older members go, no, there was a lot more members of this, and there's a lot more members that would dress as Saxons, and a lot. Yeah, I know, but I think that will actually come back.
I think it will.
It'll come back in time.
In terms of numbers, well, I mean, we do get more. We've been getting more Saxons at the front. Best costume. We've been getting more Saxons at the front year on year, and certainly since COVID, we have
definitely
a
great stat. Is Battel is easily the most well supported bonfire society at every bonfire I go to
of our circuit.
But sometimes when the Lewis ones join us, I know they go to separate bonfires.
Yeah.
So like half will go here, half. But I sit there and I think, no. Colin always says to me, "Who was the most supported society there?" And I said, "Well, Battel easily. It is every time. I guarantee you, at Norvium, I'd lay money down that Battel has more members at Norvium than Norvium itself."
I mean, I've never done a head count, so I wouldn't know.
I have.
This is so. There's two final questions. The controversial one: Abbey Green or Battlefield?
Battlefield.
See, I've never experienced Battel Bonfire on a battlefield, and what I like, what you were saying about how Staplecross is really long, how Ninfield is really small, and other things that set them apart. I think what sets Battel apart is that it is on.
Well, the only reason I say it, because when I was growing up, it used to be on the Abbey Green, and I'm not 100% sure what year it changed, but I would have only been young. My dad would not have let me and Luke on the Abbey Green back then, so I didn't actually experience
what it was like
pre-Battlefield. I grew up sort of really knowing Bonfire on the battlefield, and there is only one reason. It's actually nothing to do with the firework display, because I'm not interested in the firework display. The only reason, I think it's just better, safer for the community. I just think you're going to get a lot more people into one place. You could have food vendors and whatnot, but the biggest reason for me is because you can have a massive bonfire. I love going to bonfires.
Like a Lewis size bonfire.
Hastings and all of them now are all pallets, and they're not enjoyable. If you have,
it's too hot, isn't it? Yeah.
If you have a massive bonfire built out of branches and faggots and everything,
we must just interject there. When Andy's saying faggots, he is talking about the traditional faggot is a
bundle of sticks.
But I think specifically it's a weight.
But I believe it could have been, I don't know, 400, maybe more bundles of faggots that they made the bonfire out of. And I remember it specifically the year that Luke broke his foot. When he was laying there, or before it happened, I'd seen him doing whatever he was doing, and I've just gone, I'm just going to have a wander around the fire. And I remember walking around the fire thinking, oh my God, this is taking forever. To the point that by the time I'd made it round 360 degrees, Luke was laying on the floor. I thought he's gone from being well to being on the floor unwell.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. Battlefield for me. I just think it's easy. I love the Abbey Green. I do like it. I don't think... I'd love to be able to split it. I think the effigy on the Abbey Green cannot be touched. You will not get...
With that backdrop of the Abbey.
Never, ever,
and the sound coming back at you.
Get a better sort of atmosphere as when that effigy is going off. But if you could build a massive bonfire on the Abbey Green, I'd have it on the Abbey Green. But I just love the big bonfire. I love standing around it. I love having a natter. everyone's sort of there, and you think, we've done it. We've achieved it for another year. It's done. I can't see it ever coming off the Abbey Green.
No, I don't think I'd want it to.
It doesn't worry me. I do like it on the Abbey Green, but I've grown up with it on the battlefield.
Yeah, so it's nostalgia for you.
It's nostalgia for me, yeah.
And that's the beauty of bonfire. It's different for everybody, isn't it? Even the same bonfire is different for everybody, which is the point of this podcast. And finally, member of the year, battle member of the year.
Who I'd give it
in
to.
your eyes, yeah.
That's a great question.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Another great question. There's a number of people that sort of step up to the plate. It's hard not to mention Tucker. It is hard not to mention him.
Of course it is.
He does a hell of a lot. Chris Nolan, I think, would have won it last year.
Definitely stepping into the role of health and safety.
To the health and safety role. It's hard for me not to give it to Tucker. It is hard for me not to give it to Ollie Griffin.
Yeah.
He's
phenomenal. Again, last year though.
He's phenomenal at designing firework displays. He is phenomenal. It's hard to I sort of moan about the firework crew and their squabbles and that, but they make a tremendous amount of money for us.
They do. They're the biggest fundraiser, aren't they?
Amount of money for us. So,
and Ollie though, with I don't know if people may not be aware that we won the British Firework Championships last year, and then we came runners up in the Champion of Champions event,
which I actually think is.
Tip your hat to
that sort of goes under the radar.
It has.
They're volunteers that are turning up to put on a firework display against professional companies that are getting paid.
That do it for a living.
The people there are getting paid.
And they go over the budget. We can't do that. We haven't got the funds to do that. Yeah.
Ollie's...
Well, don't they? Swan in. They work hard and they graft, They're not just we'll throw a few down.
They swan in, they take the prize and they clear off.
Yeah.
No, I do. I don't. I remember when they said they was entering into it, and I just chuckled to myself. Like, how could Battel Bonfire be entering in to the British Firework Championships?
Yeah.
But they done it, and they won it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, it doesn't get spoke about enough.
No, it doesn't.
That is a serious achievement.
We haven't got a big pedestal to shout it from, really.
No,
that's
but
the problem.
If you went around
it should be
Britain
a bigger news.
Asking big firework companies about wanting to win the British Firework Championship, they would be going, yeah, well, of course, but we never get picked. So even to get picked is an achievement. But
it's
then
like
to go
somebody like Hastings United coming along and winning the FA Cup, isn't it? Back to the football analogy.
Going back the following year, as a champion of champions, to come second, and win
out of what was it, six teams?
Don't forget they won the young person,
the popular vote or the young person.
And you're sort of thinking,
and who is fireworks for?
It is. I know we joke about it a lot.
Well, you have to. You've got to laugh about things.
But it is a phenomenal achievement.
It is a big achievement, and we should thank our hard-working firework crew.
I agree. I completely agree.
So Ollie Griffin is member of the year for you?
No, Alice.
Oh, okay. Complete left field, Alice.
Fundraising. I just think fundraising is so important.
She doesn't do it all on her own, though.
I would give it to Ollie, but again, last year he'd have been in a fight with Nolan. But just because last year he was a champion, this year he's not.
So he's let us down a little bit.
But Tucker, I think, is in a league of his own.
I think the trouble, not being anything negative towards Tucker, is that I think he always wants member of the year, which is why you can't give it to him every year, because somebody who wants it that badly,
you could easily give it to him because what he does is phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
he tries too hard though. He's a glory boy.
I'm going to pick Alice for the fundraiser. I like the little fundraising events. I like the little quizzes, the ones that I don't turn up to and do anything.
Yeah, no, we didn't see you there. Yeah,
watch from afar, and I think, I went to the Christmas one.
Did you?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh yes, you were. Yeah.
But I just think they're great.
Yeah, they are. But the whole aim of that, and what Alice is very driven to do. I don't want to speak for her because we would hopefully have her on as a guest, but she wants to bring Battel Bonfire Boyes into the public of Battle and bring us closer to the public, do more events that don't raise huge amounts of money, because we have got a very successful firework crew that do that for us throughout the year.
We've
got the 10K, great, which Alice organises, and we've got the
big
weekend.
That's what I mean, being the race director of that.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're asking the questions on our chats like back in March about the 10K, and you're sort of thinking, Ed, we've got until September. But these things have to get organised.
You haven't got till September.
You know, it's all the time. Being a bonfire member, that could be a great thing for a misconception of the public, that people think it's just
one season or one night.
And even for, you know, again, not being on the top table, not being in any of them roles, I don't have to do much, but it gets spoke about the entire year.
Yeah, you do hear about it all the time. The entire year.
When we have our Tuesday morning coffee with the president, it's the only topic of conversation.
President Ronnie Smith, who we'll hopefully have on as a guest in the coming weeks. It would be
fascinating to have him, but we'll see.
Well, we'll try and twist his arm. What is your fondest memory?
Well, I should touch upon it, shouldn't I? I should touch upon, of course, I met Louise, my wife, at Staplecross Bonfire in 2009. But I did know, I had clocked her at bonfires before. And I kept thinking, who is that blonde-haired girl? Who is that blonde-haired girl? I remember her pushing another member, Natasha, she was in a wheelchair, and I remember her pushing her at Hastings specifically, and I remember thinking, who is that girl? And quite hilariously, at Staplecross Bonfire that year, me and Luke only ever used to have convict trousers. Never had a convict jacket.
It's atrocious.
It's a shocking.
It is,
when I've seen photos of us in it, it's embarrassingly poor. But there's a photo of me somewhere with a black marker pen painting the arrows on my trousers.
As is the traditional method of doing it.
This Staplecross club where everyone likes to go. I don't really like going in there, but I did that year. And Louise had actually come out the toilet that year, and she says that's when she saw me, but I dispute that. But it rings true because I was there painting my trousers. She said, I can remember seeing you there thinking, what is he doing painting his trousers? So it wasn't until we reached the fire that night where I'd said to another bonfire member, Debbie, Debbie, who is that girl over there? You know everyone. Who's that girl? And I never forget, she said, oh, that's Louise and Daisy Longley. And she said to me, and that man there is their dad, and he's got very big hands, Andrew, so you leave her alone. So I've sort of gone, all right, we'll see about that.
Challenge accepted.
But obviously, in this day and age, giving me the name, I've gone straight home, Facebook, added her on Facebook.
As is the way.
And the usual, I think when she messaged me, who are you? It's like, yeah, you know damn well who I am.
You've been researching me.
Yeah. And the rest was history. Yeah, 15 years later. But is that my fondest moment? Yeah, I think that's up there. It's got to be up there.
You said it was up there, but you said it was top three.
I've top three. One, as I said, was my dad. When he obviously got his cancer diagnosis, and he was awarded. I'd like to say awarded lighting the fire, because I always think lighting the fire is an honour. And I remember standing behind him, and I think Matt was there with him leading the chant, and the fire crew had stuffed the touch hole, as it's called. They put these touch holes into there's like three sort of holes around the fire that are triangular, made out of pallets, and then they put the bundles of faggots around these touch holes, and they've put the cardboard and things to help the fire get going. And my dad couldn't get it alight, but he was a bit weak at that point, but I remember he'd put his torch on top of the stuff rather than getting the flame underneath for it to grow. And I remember Matt had sort of leant forward and sort of helped the torch go under.
Yeah. And
I just remember looking at Dad thinking, this is such a poignant moment for me, because I remember thinking at that point, he'd got, as we know now, 7 months left to live. But I remember looking at him thinking, this is such an honour. For me, seeing your own dad lighting the fire.
Yeah.
Especially, I did have this feeling. I didn't want to believe it, but I sort of sat there and I thought, this is it for him. This is his last time. And I remember looking at him and I remember thinking, that's incredible. Like, so it is a huge moment. I always remember ever since he passed, when they hand the poppies out, the flowers of remembrance, it's always, I get choked up.
Yeah.
I put it on the fire and I kiss it and I put it down and I sort of think, part of me thinks, what are you doing, Andrew? And the other part of me thinks, this means something. This is poignant. This is sort of like, sort of every time, because I remember seeing my dad there. But it's a fond memory. I look at it as a fond memory because
like
I like
a bit
to
of
think
sweet, despite it being
of nice things. But also the other one was obviously being one of the bee carriers, which I never actually, when we'd spoke about making them, I never thought that the bees would be so synonymous as what they seem to have become.
Yeah, they are. They are the main, certainly in the photographs for promotion.
To the point that I've said in past years, should we have them? Should we not have them? You know, and to the point now, I don't ask that question anymore because I think, no, they have to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is, I remember the very first year, I believe Dave Wilson was chairman. And
really?
I think he was. And we was standing by the fire station with them lit.
Yeah.
And the procession had walked round and Dave looked at me, Luke and Chris, and he just sort of, being in our convict gear, not in Saxons, but in our convicts, and you know, Saxons always lead the battle procession, and he'd said to us, go on. And I've sort of looked at him and said, what do you mean? And he said, go on, lead the way. And me, Luke and Chris, from that year on, no, I think 1 year actually we did walk with him in the convicts. So with the exception of 1 year, they've led that procession down. And that is, and you speak to Luke and Chris, I was almost ready to give my B up because I sort of think I'd love somebody else to have that feeling. It feels like an honour. It sounds ridiculous.
No, not
but
at all. I
You're
understand where
walking
you're
down
coming
and you're
from.
thinking, this is Battel Bonfire. This is what I grew up thinking. Battel Bonfire is, for me, the biggest day of the year.
It's the coolest thing that happens in the town.
Growing up, it knocks spots off of Christmas.
Yeah, well,
it's the biggest night of the year.
And it's got a seat, like a calendar attached to it of other events leading up.
I know, even now, I would sort of choose that over Christmas.
Well, yeah, Christmas
but
is...
they're different things.
Of course they are, yeah.
So to lead the procession down that first time, I think I can't split between the three.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to tell me what order you're ranking them in.
But that the highest honour I've ever had is definitely leading the bonfire procession down the high street, and so far I get that honour every year. And I'm, although I've said I'm almost ready. Luke and Chris won't. They're not ready. They are
to give it up.
They won't give that up. They love it.
I think you need a trio to take over.
They are heavy. They look a lot. Well, maybe they don't look easy, but we have these special things on our belt to help us carry, and the oil is dripping down onto your hands, and you're thinking, I cannot let go of this because it's heavy, and you know
that's a bastard to carry. I didn't really consider the wind. Yeah. It's really hard. To the point where I was like, I might not do it this year. And then when Matt said about putting it in the road program or like procession order, I was like, oh, I better add then. Because if it's raining, I don't really want to do it either. It's going to be even worse. Yeah. Well, yeah, nice fond memories. I'm glad you've got three because I haven't got one. I did have one. I've already spoken about it. What is your
fondest memory?
Carrying the Battle banner down the high street for the first time. Yeah. That was good. I was going to say, I thought the bees had been around for so much longer than they had.
No, they haven't. I don't know. Yeah. I really, perhaps we could somehow chase back the history of them. I think we have a photo in the Redneck Inn. It's like a print that Mum done for Christmas for Luke, or me and Luke, and we had this convict barrel with a skull on it, and Tucker was behind, and they're chucking crackers in it, and Tucker's holding onto this barrel for dear life, smoke billowing in his eyes and everything, and you've got this fantastic photo where it's just a plume of smoke and a white glow, and me on the left, Chris in the middle, and Luke on the right, as it always is, walking down with the bees. And I think that could have been the first year.
Right.
So I could look up the date and find, but we must be approaching 10 years. Be amazing.
Oh,
if
okay.
it's
So
10
that
years.
would be,
I
yeah,
wouldn't have
that's
said
why
it's
I
no more
thought
than
it's
10
always
years.
in it then, because I've only been a member for 10 years. But I thought when I joined, Hannah was the chairman. You said Dave was chairman. So.
Yeah, well, she was and then left and then Dave jumped in, I think.
What, in that same year?
Good question.
Maybe. I mean, I don't, because I was very much a fringe member at that point. I didn't really pay that much attention to the upper echelons of the society. So
No.
I didn't really care.
Don't
I still don't. I'm the wrong person to be in this job.
I think that wraps it up quite well, Ed.
Yeah, I think it does. Guy talks. We are going to run a competition where you can win some badges and some other merchandise that will fit in a large letter in the Royal Mail. If you send, I was going to do a question, but then Alice said people can just look up a question. She said, why don't you ask people to just write in to the Facebook with their fondest bonfire memory?
Yeah.
And we just pick the best one.
Great.
So that is
that is why Alice is the member of the year.
Yeah, she does. She has come up with some good ideas.
Phenomenal ideas.
Yeah, she does.
But, Tucker can wait another year.
And then I steal the credit for him.
Make him wait another year.
Make him wait another year. Well, we'll see. Other people might have him as member of the year, and then...
Agreed.
Whoever gets the most votes will get a badge that says member of the year, and they'll have to wear it.
Absolutely.
Like
That's actually a very good idea.
That'd be the worst badge to have.
Yeah, fair point. I think that wraps up nicely.
Guy talks.
How long did that go on for, Matt?